coolers this time though.
The coolers.
They're in the truck, but the coolers, yeah, the coolers.
GoPro, stop recording. That one off too? Well, you just missed a spectacular hook set by me because apparently both my cameras overheated. But I got a buddy with me today, Jeff from Sherwood Forest. That's how you got your last name, isn't it?
Yep.
I don't know if he was the guy in the tights or the sheriff of Nottingham, but
Listen, can't prove it.
we'll tell you more about Jeff later. But a buddy from out of state, and they're still in the bushes biting, and he's gonna fall out of the front because he ain't ever run a Garmin before.
This Garmin's a little different than I'm used to.
Yeah, you got to kind of, when you feel one, just reel your line down to him, point at him, and just give him a pull.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you, I got to where I'm a fan of this Mag 2 Zoom on Carolina rig.
Yeah.
They eat it and you don't miss them like you do like you're throwing an old monster.
Right. Oh, you're throwing a big worm?
Yeah.
Damn. Hey guys, so I'm gonna let you guys be the fly on the wall for a couple of really fun days of fishing here. No giant fish. You're not gonna learn a whole lot, but I got two buddies with me. I got a buddy with me and I got a new friend with me. So Jeff, who you just saw, is with Touts Resorts. Jeff is a very accomplished kayak fisherman and also tournament fishes, doesn't have a bass boat, but is kind of a stand-in partner for a lot of guys in New Mexico who, when their partner can't fish, Jeff jumps in the boat because they all know Jeff can fish. So you're going to see Jeff and you're going to see David. And I'm gonna do this kind of backwards. I'm gonna show you an introduction we did in the boat about who David is. But David's with a company called JSX Airlines, which, if you don't know them, it's an incredibly cool deal. I'll tell you more about it in a minute. But here's what's really fun about this. So we were all supposed to fish together. We're gonna start here. You just saw a little bit of Friday afternoon, but it was so hot we didn't spend any time on the water. We took the boat out. Matter of fact, this video right here, we took the boys out for a boat ride and just rode around right there at the ramp, and the boys just had a great time with us. And then we were all supposed to fish together Saturday morning, and Moonpie came over to fish with us, but Jeff didn't feel well, so he wasn't able to fish with us Saturday. But then we fished Sunday. And a lot of goofy things happened over the weekend, but David had never bass fished before. But you're going to see pretty quick, David can fish. So David and his father, I want to get this right. So David grew up fishing with his father, and they now have a boat in the Sea of Cortez. Now, if you don't know where that is, you got Mexico, you got California coming down, and then you got the Baja Peninsula. And it's that bay between Mexico and the Baja Peninsula, which is just phenomenal saltwater fishing. So David is very comfortable with a rod and reel, but like, he'd never thrown a Carolina rig. And I got to tell you, it was really fun to watch him. So I kind of showed him how to do it. I'm like, do you need to spin and pole? And he's like, no, but he never thrown one. Well, you know, that's a little goofy to throw. Well, it took him like 10 casts and he's thrown it as far as I am. And he's like, you know, what does a bite feel like on this? And I'm like, well, you'll kind of know it when it happens. And then before long, he's just jerking on them. So it was really fun. And I wish we'd been on some better fish. And by the way, just note here, 15 pounds won a tournament on Saturday. And you're going to see between the fish we caught dragging and the one pretty good one I caught flipping, we had probably something in the low mid-teens. We'd have been very competitive in that tournament. But we had a great time. Matter of fact, the best fish of the day I don't have on camera because the cameras are overheating so bad. And I got something new. Again, something that Jeff showed me. This is a new cover for a GoPro 12, which apparently blocks some of the heat off of them and they don't overheat. I'm doing some research on other things that will help them not overheat so bad, because literally after 11 o'clock, all 3 days, it's 100 degrees with no wind, and cameras are overheating. But the best fish we saw of the 3 days is a fish that Jeff pulled to the top of the water out of not a beanie bush, but just out of a massive bunch of vines. And he hit a fish, pulled the fish out of the water, It had a 7-pounder head. It was between 5 and 7 pounds. I didn't get a great look at it, but it had a great big head on it. And he's like, and it was balled up when he got on that fish, and he was using a big, heavy Loomis rod. And when he got it in, he goes, man, I don't know how I lost that fish. And I said, look at your hook. And sure enough, he'd sprung a whatever kind of jungle hook. I think it was an owner jungle hook he was fishing with. He just pulled on it so hard, which is kind of what you got to do. But he got the fish out, he lost the fish, and then he actually lost another really good fish Sunday, kind of the same type of a deal. But I'm gonna let y'all see some fishing, then I'm gonna let the guys kind of introduce themselves to you, and we're gonna tell you about some stuff we got upcoming. But we got great footage today, and we're gonna have great footage again on Thursday from the Sunday part of the trip. So here we go, guys. Okay, not exactly true. You're gonna learn something here. Basically, what we're fishing is the clay from what normally would have been from the bank out to about 5 feet when there's not hay grass. So that stuff's now, 7 to 12 feet deep. And you're going to hear us talking about if you're hitting the grass, you're not going to catch them. But if you hit that clay, that clumpy stuff, there's fish, and there's lots of them up there.
That one, I thought I was on bottom and I hopped it and he pulled back. Like, no.
So you have a decent amount of time. You have a couple seconds once
Once they pick it up on that free line, they're not going to turn it.
Okay.
They're not going to turn it loose. You really don't want to come in here.
That's bites, or if that's a...
Yeah, they're not giants. But that last one of mine was a solid 2 1/4. They do get here though. I'm having a hard time believing he ain't caught a fish yet. One should have already foul hooked itself or something. Yeah, I think he's just practicing letting them swim with it.
That's me you're talking about?
Yes, he's being made fun of.
I feel that. Cast a little bit further to the left.
Well, just fish it all the way to the boat. I mean, that
okay.
last bite I had was literally under the boat.
Maybe that's what I'm not fishing it far enough in. Well, I just have no idea what I'm doing.
We've got a deep spot. Of course, shit, now it's 45 feet deep, but I got a deep spot out here in the middle of the lake that they will bite it. They'll bite it right under the boat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I always
like
fight myself.
Fishing.
Huh?
Like bottom fishing.
Well, and I fight myself because, you just want to make a long cast, and it's like, you just make short casts. They're right here. They're out here deep. Oh, nice. All right, so now David's got it figured out. I'm going to jump to tomorrow and show you guys who my buddies are here, and then we'll come back to Saturday fishing, and we'll finish up Sunday fishing on Thursday. All right, boys, I'm going to give a couple shout outs. So first off, shout out to Brian Branham, Sam Rayburn Guide to the Stars. This little spot we're on, he sent us to. How many fish have we caught? 30.
30, yeah.
Yeah, 30 fish probably in 45 minutes. So if you just want to go catching, he gave me 5 spots. I don't know that we'll check any more of them. So, but also, you guys are going to see in a couple of weeks, Sarah and the boys and I are going to get to go to Taos and experience the Taos Resort. So in the back of the boat back there is Jeff. Jeff's with Taos Resorts. And in the front of the boat is David with JSX Airlines, which we'll tell y'all a lot more about it. But if you want the experience of flying what feels like private, but at commercial rates, they don't fly everywhere. Where all do y'all fly?
From Dallas, we fly to Miami, Destin, Crested Butte, Denver, Taos, Houston, Cabo, and Las Vegas.
In Vegas. And then you fly some other routes too around the country.
Yeah, we fly a lot more around the country. Out of Southern California, we go out to Vegas, up to the Bay Area, out to Scottsdale. We fly and in Southern California, we fly to Carlsbad, which is in northern San Diego.
Yeah.
We fly Orange County, John Wayne Airport, and in Burbank and LAX. And then on the East Coast, we fly from Westchester County in White Plains down to Miami and Boca Raton.
And basically 24-seat jets.
30 seats.
30-seat jets. And so we're going to ruin the boys. Their first ever trip on a plane is going to be on one of those. And I'm going to have to explain to them that Mom and Daddy don't get to fly like that all the time.
Oh, they're never going back.
I know.
You're going to have a
Totally
struggle.
screw them up. Yeah.
I'm going to have to call, delay the flight, make sure they get the full
I've got
bad
you.
experience.
Jeff, I've got you. Anyway, I introduced Jeff in the back of the boat a second ago and didn't have a camera on him. But anyway, so we're going to do a really fun trip. We're going to take you guys with us. What's the name of your hotel, Jeff?
The Blake.
Blake.
The Blake at Taos Ski Valley. It's LEED certified, geothermal heated and cooled.
No kidding.
Yeah, one of the, on TripAdvisor, if we were open year round, it would be the highest rated hotel on earth. But we close, and TripAdvisor won't give you those accolades because there's places that only open for a week or two, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you got to be open 365, but we have more 5-star ratings than any other hotel.
You said somebody gave you a 4-star rating and y'all put a hit out on them?
Yeah, that guy. No, we won't see him no more. We won't see him no more.
That's who's fishing with me this weekend. They came down and we've had a ball. We were badly overserved by Sarah with wine last night.
Yeah,
But we had good steaks and
great steak.
You were, the
Dickie
one,
and
you were the
Deal.
one pouring the scotch at the end.
I did
You
the
can't
Scott.
blame
Well,
Sarah.
but I also gave you an ice cream sandwich.
Yeah, it's true. Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
an ice cream sandwich and a glass of scotch. You
That's
really
hard to
cannot.
beat.
Life
That's hard to
cannot
beat.
get a lot better.
Especially
so,
after a good steak.
after a good steak. But I will say I felt that scotch when I woke up at 4:15 this morning. So anyway, that's who's fished with us this weekend. I don't even know where I'll put this in the video because there's going to be a couple. We caught a ton of fish. Okay, so that's who's with me. Now back to Saturday morning fishing.
Yeah, so in Southern California, there's a fish called a calico bass.
Mm-hmm.
And have you heard about?
I have, yeah.
So a lot of guys, you have bass fishermen. A lot of bass fishermen who go out and fish from
They're saltwater fish, right?
saltwater fish.
Yeah, but get big.
Big one, same as here. 10 pounds is a big
Okay.
calico. Super aggressive.
So what's your favorite fish to eat?
To eat, it's either wahoo. Wahoo's really good.
Well, wahoo's called something else in a restaurant, isn't it?
Ono is what it is in Hawaii. You don't see it very often on menus. Dolphin, mahi-mahi.
Okay.
I like yellowtail raw, but that's different than the yellowtail snapper that they catch out in the Gulf here.
So we caught my buddy Phil Walton had me down to Mobile and we fished a tournament and they caught a 196-pound yellowtail.
Oh, a tuna, yellowfin.
Yellowfin, yeah.
Yep.
And that's the one with the big sickles?
That has the yellow sickles on the back leading up to the tail.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
And apparently the state record was only like 212 or 214.
Oh, really?
They won like $100,000 that day.
Wow. They catch big huge bluefin.
Yeah.
I didn't know they don't get big yellowfin out there.
Tell you what, man, that fish would run. I've never seen anything that could run that hard and that fast.
Oh, it's incredible how hard tuna can pull and consistently throughout the
And in this
entire fight.
tournament, once that first guy set the hook, he had to finish that fish, and that dude was toasted.
Was stand-up harness or was he?
No, yeah, stand up hard.
Yeah, you're done for the day after a big fish on stand-up
Literally,
gear.
When they finally, and of course, I've got it all on video. It's a great video. But when they finally boated that fish, he just collapsed half into the cabin. He said everything on him was burning.
I bet it was.
It was really funny because, which I guess this is just part of saltwater fishing. You know, the first hour he fought that fish, they had no idea what it was.
Yep.
And then the first mate goes, I see sickles, I see sickles. And then they all got
Everyone gets pumped up.
Yeah. And then everybody, it felt like to me everybody got stressed.
Yes. Well, if it's a tournament, especially.
Yeah.
Did they think? How did you guys catch it on the troll or chunking or?
On troll.
Because it could be a
First line
shark. You have no idea what it could be.
out. Well, and that's the thing. Then they're like, when you get it up close, then you got the danger of somebody biting it in half, and there goes $100,000. This is all told to me as we're riding back in, you know.
Right.
But that was really cool. What made me think about that? You made that comment that night after they weighed the fish. they, you know, we were backed into the stall or into the dock, and they cut it up and just left it, and people were just walking by getting some.
Taking some?
So good.
Yeah. Tuna's one of my favorite fish to catch and chase. Just the whole, everything from finding them, catching them, and then eating them.
Do you see them with your electronics?
You can, yeah. You look for dolphin, you look for heart. I mean, there's different ways you fish them. The most fun is when you can see them, when you chase birds.
Okay.
And you chase them around, and they're up schooling, and you can cast poppers to them, and they're super aggressive.
Out in a lot up north, the musky tournaments and the walleye tournaments,
Yeah.
they're banning live stuff
Are they really?
because they're so easy to find
Yeah.
out in the middle of nowhere.
These fish have come out further.
You're catching them
Literally right there.
by the boat.
Right under us.
And they'll start, as the sun comes up, they'll move.
Fish it all the way back out.
So you think they're eating cross? A little bigger one too.
Don't you think?
You ever do any red fishing?
A little bit. I just don't get to the coast enough. The first red I ever hooked was, I got a client in San Antonio who loved to go down there, and he carried me down there. And he's talking about how strong they are, and I'm like, yeah, okay, great. And the first one I hooked was like a 20-incher, and it just damn near spooled me. And I'm like, good God. He goes, yeah, that's a little bitty one. I'm like, really? He goes,
They
oh,
kick.
yeah, a little bitty one. I'm like, "Whoa." And then I got a hold of some later today. I'm like, oh yeah, I get it now.
Well, they're super fun when they get up on the surface, and I don't know if it's when they're spawning, but when you can catch them, oh, it's the little guy. Yeah, redfish are super fun to catch. Hey, little guy.
They're good eating too.
Yeah, they taste good on the half shell.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They keep the skin on. Keep the skin on them. Bake them. Bunch of butter and garlic and stuff. Ooh. Yeah, I think I don't know if they do this in South Texas. I'm sure they do when they're up on the surface. You do topwater fishing for them. They're super aggressive.
So I had to go find a place I could get on the bank and take care of some personal business. So I put David in the boat with Pi. They went and caught some more fish elsewhere, and then I tried to replicate the flip and bite. And you can see we were just having a ball, and when we get Jeff in the boat, it's even more fun. But the flip and bite slowed, and then the last day just stopped. The last day being Sunday, but we caught a ton of fish Sunday offshore. So this is how I wound up Saturday, which happened to be the best fish that we put in the boat on Saturday. So here we go.
She was down in the hook. In a willow bush though. That was a mess.
Why are you going?
I would love to go somewhere.
What?
What happens before we go anywhere? What has to get said?
We go on a boat.
But what do? You gonna give me a count?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.